So I'm on Lake Champlain. I'm on Isle-La-Motte. I'm a Canadian, New Brunswick. My mom was from New Brunswick roots, German Palatinate, and Irish and English. And then my dad's side is we're all loyalists, so we all escaped the revolution. So we're what you call traitors in the south of the border, I guess, but above the border, we're called loyalists. And my family went to Quebec and New Brunswick. And then on my mom's side goes, so my father's side is Scottish, English, and they went to Bermuda in the 1600s. Anyway, this place where I am on Lake Champlain on Isle-La-Motte is kind of a fossil center, and I always just think of Champlain sailing up and down and up and down. Like I get fossils on the beach, but it was the first white settlement in Vermont, and there were some Jesuits. I read the history, and they came and got tortured. One guy didn't get it, like his buddy got tortured and killed, and then he came back for 3 more years until he got tortured and killed. I just wonder about the zeal of some of these early zealots. But anyway, so I'm going to start off because everything, and I just want to recognize, again, this is contested there. I'm in Abenaki territory, and there are turtles that actually breed on my beach here. And this is the turtle Abenaki people. That's the Vermonters say. And many of them actually went underground because in the 20s and 30s, there was a Professor Perkins who was saw to sterilizing Indians and slow-minded people. And Hitler came over and studied eugenics here. So basically what happened is a lot of Indigenous peoples became French Canadian. And now they're trying to reclaim their indigeneity. And so anyway, so I'm standing really in Abenaki country, and then the Algonquin and Huron and Iroquois, they fought over different pieces, but it's very beautiful and kind of very shamanic. So the first piece, because it's been so hot in the world and we're dealing with these wildfires and crazy things and, unprecedented heat in London and fires. Anyway, so this is called Castor's Savior. And I just lifted, so it's really about the beaver. And for those of you who may not know, there's the hugest beaver dam, I think, in the world is in Wood Buffalo Park, and you can see it from satellites. It's huge. It's in northern Alberta. But we have beavers here, and Canada was built on the back of beavers. So it's called Castor's Savior. So we try to kill them off, but they've come back. So it starts with an epigram by Joni Mitchell. Shine on the dazzling darkness that mends us while we sleep. 1992, Roberta Bondar, astronauts Earth from outer space, writes of little bits of light against an expanse of darkness. Now the night sky measures prosperity, industry, a lie. Alberta framed its print snow white, electronic blight. We are burning up with bright lights. Our blue planet, white at night, this image shot from satellite. Oh, Canada. Joni Mitchell echoes the alarm on point, recycles 60s themes, Earth's golden beams on her stage circles screen. Our spaceship is riddled with holes. Ballerinas dance for a miracle. The lead dancer enters in green and red rags, as tattered as our blue planet. Time to choose the fiddle or the drum. Margaret Atwood warns of a new Stone Age, speaks out against short-term gain, war, makes a plea for nature, water, how to shrink our carbon footprint. Ignite with green light. Oh, Canada. The gals are out of the gate. The time is now, maybe already too late. We must turn to metaphor and beauty and rhyme, image and movement, time, move in concert, in pirouettes and pliés. Please stop the slaughter. Teach your daughter, don't sell water. Turn out your lights. Sound the beaver. Our country's symbol, national park mascot, survivor, savior, back from an almost extinction. Rodent, portent. Let's model beavers with their female leaders, burn with beaver fever. Let's be beaver maids, fur trade, call up 3 centuries of beaver barter, felt hats overseas, rage. Let's sing with coureurs de bois and voyageurs, leur chanson des lacs, fleuves, portages. I wish I had a river. Castor canadiensis, made in Canada, bark eaters, bunt-bodied and brown, sapling ripping, glade gulping, dam diverting, madly dredging at dusk, at dawn, all night feverishly flooding woodland fens, marshalling glacier melt at staggered late season flow. Beavers guard fresh water, filter blue gold, inland brooks, swamps, lakes, ice. Fields are melting, oceans rising, blue gold is vaporizing. How to address overpopulation, pollution, guard against giardia, beaver fever, fresh water poisoned by excessive waste, failed filters. We must get over our black gold rush mind. How we siphon off rivers and lakes to fill cavities caused by rigged pigs, oil extraction, 5 barrels to 1. Let's 12 step away from our addiction to bitumen, concentrate on castor oil. There's no negotiating with nature. Let beaver be our light to right the plight of water, of night. Let's tend the beaver, mine beaver wisdom, mend with beaver medicine, bear 7 generations in mind. To staunch water, beavers need black. This night, please turn out your light. Make way for beaver ballet, dazzling darkness, a miracle. So this poem is called Shell Queen. I glitter, glamour, mesmerize with grumbles, hisses, bat my eyes, burst my flare with intermittent flame. I burn and turn, seek out my fame. I yearn all day for sky of night to strust my stuff, to show my might, then blot out planets with orange shine, kill starlight sparkle, savor darkness like fine wine. In black, bejeweled, you'll sense my dream of ruling, reigning, lording space. I make you tiptoe in this place. Still come to me in supplication, hard hat, earplugs, steel-toed boots, safety glasses, one-piece suits, fire retardant, iridescent X, name tags dangling on your chest. Sign in, sign out, please dance my dance. I'll keep you nimble, keep you humble. We're all gamblers marking chance. You plot and plan years in advance like general soldiers, rows and lines. Still, I weave my own way, serpentine. I keep you close to Spensod signs, your nose alert to scent of danger. Consider maybe not a stranger to my burps and belches, farts and yawns. Day shift past dusk, night shift past dawn. See me stand tall and show your pass. Backstage secret, access permits, safety edicts. Watch your ass. This is my cosmos. Oil, gas. I am a shell, a scallop shin, drag queen in daytime seldom seen. I am a lady all the night. In truth, I'm an hermaphrodite. Let's sing together, bound together, as I spawn what men will die for. There was a very, very famous opera singer whom you have never heard of, but you will. And she was as famous in her day as Celine Dion is now. So she was like a superstar, and she was rich and lost all her money in the first kind of concert to raise money for her late in life. So I have a recording. I'm going to start with a little recording of her from 1904. I was able to get a recording, and it's quite different aesthetics. One, the voice is maple sugar and honey, a hummingbird's heart beating at an impossible rate. It is butterscotch sauce, homemade, warm, and taffy-like, soft as it congeals, calls from the floor from 1904. That voice pushes out of the earth, grave, slips through invisible cracks, a tongue and groove oak casket, and hovers up there like a hummingbird. The song is exotic, almost Asian. It could be Anna singing at the knees of the King of Siam. It could be a Tuvan throat singer. Vocal sounds split unnaturally, twinned notes, like a bow drawn over two violin strings, its notes spectacularly ethereal. It could be Nattergallen, a nightingale trilling from the pen of Hans Christian Andersen, his buried longing for Swedish soprano song, opera singer Jenny Lind. But it is none of those things. It is the sound of Quebec-born soprano, the darling of Queen Victoria, a petite, dark-haired woman, as famous in 1886 as Celine Dion is now. She performed as Emma Albani, her real name La Jeunesse, deemed too unspectacular to seduce La Scala patrons. Albani was born in Chambly, Quebec, a small city 15 miles east of Montreal. She lived on Rue Martel in a centuries-old habitant house with undersized doors and windows. I was conceived in that house. 2. Chambly has been in my dreams for as long as I remember them. The gray stone fort perched on the water's edge, the flat Montérégie countryside, yet I never lived there. I grew up in Montreal when my parents moved before I drew breath at the Montreal General Hospital. I'd come crashing into the world with arias and high C cemented in my bones. And yet I can't remember when I began to hear soft singing. I only know there was always a lullaby in my nursery. LL.M sang for kaisers and kings, visiting dignitaries and presidents for Queen Victoria's funeral. And they say that on still nights in Chambly, on crisp fall evenings, ones that hint at northern lights, if you descend the gray stone stairs down to the Richelieu Basin, you can hear the sweetest sound. You strain as you listen, sound hovering in the dark air like an invisible winged hummingbird. Some say it's an escaped nightingale. Some swear it is Tuvan music streamed in from Montreal, radio waves emanating from the big transformer which pierces the night sky. But ask anyone who was born in Chambly before the last war, and they will draw you aside and whisper softly, almost conspiratorially, it is none other than their beloved LL.M singing her way home. And that's kind of interesting. It's so interesting to revisit your poems because my mom was dying and I had an Indigenous friend and he said, Kathy, you have to find your mother's song. You have to sing your mother home. So it's kind of like, I don't know, and that I wrote 20 years ago or something. This one's called 1,047 Degrees of Separation. A week ago, I stood before an oven. The temperature read 1,047 degrees Celsius. On a metal conveyor belt before a slow rising door lay a plain pine box. Inside it was my father. A black-suited man presses a black button with white-gloved hands. The box inches forward until it is swallowed by the oven. The funeral man faces the oven door, bows to the pine box, departing. The door descends slowly, almost inaudibly, a soothing hum, click, until all we can hear is a hungry fire feasting on all that remains. What's kind of trippy is with my mom, I was the only one to went to her cremation, and completely different process. Like you think, oh, it's standardized. No, they push her in. And then I had to actually hit the oven. They made me press that button, but I was able to put flowers and pine boughs and then pistachios. She loved pistachios. So it was very, very moving, but it's kind of intense. Like you press the button, it is, you know. So the next piece is called Conductor, and both my parents absolutely adored music. So I was brought up with music always in the house, and everything jazz, classical, you name it, we had it. And I just feel so grateful for that. Conductor. And this is, Conductor. I thought it was the wind that caught my chest, stole my breath, and shook it like a rag in a dog's jaw. I was rollerblading the smooth asphalt surface of West Shore Road on Isle La Motte, watched Lake Champlain's white caps break in wide bands, clean lines, straight across the width of water, thick like the white space between black lines on unscored sheet music. My chest clutched, seized, as if you closed your hand in a fist over my heart. But it was you, Dad. You came to me, all skin and bones, your right palm bowed, fingers pressed together as you talk and wave, conduct an invisible orchestra, your whole hand trembling, and you swimming in your own clothes, skinny, your mind fixed on invisible ships and the horns, strings, drums of your otherworldly orchestra, your brow knit in anxious concentration. your eyes fixed on some far off horizon I could not see. I skated hard, Dad, pushed one leg after the other, crossed right over left. The white caps flattened, and for an instant, I heard music, faint and sweet, celestial in my wind-blasted ears. Then the lake found my eyes, Dad, blue like yours. They swam salt in fresh water, like you. So, okay. And I'll move to a poem where I perform with musicians a lot. And this one I perform with classical musicians, classically trained musicians, and we sang in harmony and everything. So I sing a little bit of it, but often I sing with two other people and with a ukulele and with an upright bass. And boy, is it ever fun. And the thing that's wonderful for poets with music is it just gives you that other space. Like you can open up more, and then singing harmonies and speaking over is just wonderful to experience. So this is, there was a little boy from Fredericton. I mentioned New Brunswick at the beginning. Anyway, he ended up in Edmonton, and now he's engaged. But anyway, here we go. He was 4.5 when I met him. There was a boy who lived next door, green-eyed and blonde. His voice was true. A choir song contained within his blushing cheeks, his bitten tongue. He lived beside me months and years. Then his dad threw one more son. The family moved an hour away, now 4 and 1. Dad, brothers, mom. And then he moved to place of birth, my mother's home, my college dorm. His voice still sweet, his eyes still green, his cheeks still flushed. He first hugged me. There was a boy who moved away, who loved his mom, not to return. Friendship is strange, the way it grows. My Facebook friend, to stay in touch, I followed him through parents' breakup, fresh partners each, a new half-brother. Now an engineer in Prince Edward Island, he goes steady with a girl who suits him. We stay in touch. It isn't much, but it is heaven to behold him. There was a boy who lived next door. He was a dream, heart soft as butter. Turned out his dad was not his father, but his mother was his mother. She let me take him to the Badlands. We photographed 1,000,000 birds. We trekked prairies, sloughs, and hillsides, coulees, valleys, mountaintops. On my dresser, there's a stone that I stole from Sulphur Mountain. Every morning, I remember how we found it up above the lift that drops you at the trailhead for the highest alpine meadow. We ran up that scree-strewn pathway through oxeye daisies. Edelweiss lay in a moss patch, our fake family, man and boy and thieving woman. On our descent, the warden seized your piece of mountain. Mine was hidden. When I die, I'll make sure to leave you perfect granite, quartz, and lichen. We weren't joined by any binding forced on us by blood or bond. Our tie was freedom, an old white setter, Olympus camera, Fuji film. I've written this in countless poems of countless photos of that boy. There were times that he led me to be braver than I was. If earth is round and moon is silver, sun is gold and grass is green, there's a boy inside a man on an island by the sea. Shines through green eyes, sounds through night skies, with a heart so full and true. Days like this, I still can see him, cherry smile, blonde hair askew. Days like this, I still can see him, cherry smile, blonde hair askew. And so one thing, I had a great aunt who was, she died at 1 month shy of 99. And she was the first one on Montreal City Council. And I've got a picture upstairs. There's one woman and 130 men. And she was 5 foot nothing. And she kept shrinking as she got older. And she'd wander around the house in little glasses with boobs down to her waist and espadrilles. And she was a nudist and they'd skinny dip every day. So a lot of young people's first experience of naked women was my great aunt Kay. And so affected was I by her changing in the changing room. I thought boobs were like hair. They just kept growing as you got older. And I thought my mom must be really young because hers are little and Aunt Kay's really old because they're just so long. Anyway, I figured it out eventually. So after she died, I'm her namesake. Anyway, I wrote this poem and it rhymes, and it's really the title. I have a CD called "Think of Me Naked," and it was lifted from a line from Di Brandt. And so it's her talking to me, and it's how when people die or transition, really what changes our relationship to them. They're just not on this plane, but they still are with us, and we call on them, and they stay with us, and they come to us. So this is her talking to me. Think of me naked. Naked as breath, naked in water, naked in death. Think of me smiling, coral and blue, hot cheeks and cool iris, burn, morning dew. Think of me laughing behind twinkling eyes. When your spirit fails, ride with me, we will rise. Think of me silent, not silenced, but still, hands clasped as I catnap, betraying my will. Think of me soaring like angels in air long after I lost God. Gold cherubs I hear. Gold cherubs now bear me up in their fat arms. Think of me startled, delighted, disarmed. I am naked and weightless. I rise, wheel, and soar. To the heavens I cry out, not believing them there. Think of me smiling like a cat off a kill. Yet I yearn to be with you in that house, on that hill. If I could, I would touch you and tell you I'm free. So just think of me naked. Be naked with me. So that one, actually, makes me happy when I read that. I feel good. It's a good. I'm going to turn a light on because I think I've lost my light. I'm sort of in the dark. Wait, I'll turn this light on and see if it makes a difference. Okay. So this is one which I don't do very often, but I was just at a songwriting workshop actually at Island Arts. They had this songwriting workshop, and so again, this is kind of like, and we were discussing, the words come first or the lyrics. So this isn't really a song, but I kind of sing it. But it came with music. So sometimes a poem comes and then and it comes with music, or sometimes you go to read it and then you start singing it. I don't know what your experience is, but that has been mine. So, and this one was kind of wanting, it was just right before 9/11. So it's kind of trippy. I wrote it right before. And then it was, just listen to the words, it's like, man, because we get in trouble with some of these people, fundamentalist religion and sort of, or, one hard ass thinking anyway. So this is like not wanting to be a victim or a perpetrator. And we all have all those aspects in us. So we have to modulate ourselves. So I don't want to be no bleeding Jesus. I don't want to bleed no Jesus way. I don't want to be no bleeding Jesus. I don't want no cross to make my day. I don't want to be no weeping Mary. I don't want to wail for blood and bone. I don't want to be no weeping Mary, crying rage until it's fixed in stone. I don't want to be no saint or martyr. Crucifixion is too stiff a price to pay. They never leave you dead, not when they oughta. Body relics featured in the church display. I don't want to be no Jesus traitor. Betrayal's not the game I want to play. You know that when he picked me, that's Judas, he said, you're the one I need to pave my way. Complicity, it's never really easy and no one understands you. Anyway, everyone believes that you're a bastard, and that's why hanging is the Judas way. Martyrs have to have their fellow victims to raise them from their pity to the spire, and traitors need their nerve and lack of courage to show them hell on earth is devilish fire. Saints need blue and white to clothe their earth shapes. Saints require death to shape their stain. Holy men need earth ones to inspire, drive them to their God of fear and pain. I don't want to be no bleeding Jesus. I don't want to bleed no Jesus way. I only want to sing my way to heaven. Please tell me dying ain't the only way. And yeah, on Netflix, there's all these shows about like the crazy Mormon dudes that have 5,000 wives. They're into international child kidnapping, and I just was hearing a story of this minister who's going to speak at my mom's, and his mother was Catholic, and the father of her first baby was Seventh-day Adventist, and she had to renounce Catholicism, and they still took her baby, and she was never allowed to say the condition that she was allowed to see him. He was called a Duplessis child, and the condition was that she never revealed that she was his mother. And she met him on her dying day, and he held her hand as the last act. Like she met him the brothers called him, so it's just like the cruelty that has been inflicted, especially I'm going to say on peoples. And right now the Pope is coming, and I'm praying he will be marvelous with the Indigenous people, because the Pope is coming to Canada now, and he's supposed to be part of this journey of reconciliation. So I've got one poetic thing, Rumi. I think it's very short, and I think just because everybody again is a poet, and this is just a poetic, and it was inspired by Rumi, who is a Sufi mystic, and I feel like I should move the light, but it's called Instruments of Song, just on the theme, I guess, of music, which how these things self-organize. Save these songs. Broken instruments breed music, broken-hearted. Instruments play, limp, amputees of heart song, pearls scavenged from spindrift and ocean floor, pain layered and steady calcifications. Your bones, in and out, spin, holes and long limbs. Who knew what they wanted? My breath shapes, my wagon hauling an ancient desire for spring, laying empty, frightened. Go, study the broken blessing of music, the blessing of broken music, kneeling your bones in the field, in the grass, the language of each other. No sense. Don't go back to sleep. Don't go back and forth. Go forth through an open door, the open kiss, the kiss for life, a bargain. Buy it. The daylight, dancing, us particles of light turning. Say what you are. Be your body. Be in your body your own way. Say it. Speak it. To pomegranates, flowers, come or don't come. The light will. The pomegranate will die. Be wine. Be hunter drunk. Dissolve. The time for dissolution, for sugar, for dawn, sudden execution, death. A spark in breath, in your arm. Pull me in with pale love, changed light, untold grace. Thank you. I'm going to end here.
Kathy, that was just amazing. Thank you so much.